What is up, lads? Welcome back to another episode of the Ladsfootyshow. It's your boy Hera here with my co-hosts.
It's your boy Keeks.
And boys, we have a Champions League final set. It is between, unfortunately, Inter versus PSG. You guys know how I felt. You guys know the build-up I had with Barcelona this whole way. Oh, Keeks, my Barca lost. But it's okay. So Arsenal, I need it in.
You had 3 out of 14.
Hey, it is what it is. Anyways, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys sub, boys. We're on the road to 6K subs. We're almost there. Make sure you guys like, comment, and sub. Join the Discord, Keys. What else should they do?
Like, comment, subscribe, and comment why Barca is going to have to wait another 20 years to win the Champions League.
10 years Barcelona waited.
Going to have to wait another 10. Wait,
and I'm going to have to keep waiting.
You're cooked.
I don't know, man. This was a year, and I say it every year. What did I say last year?
No, but this one had a...
This one was the one that hurt. No, boys.
You guys are quadruple bound,
I am devastated, lads.
You guys were quadruple bound.
I am devastated.
And everyone was pretty much accepting that Barca was more than likely going to win a quadruple. At least the treble minimum.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks the way Barcelona went out. But real quick, let's get into the instant reactions. I want to say real quick, for all the Madridistas out there, congratulations. Hate watch, successful for you guys. Arsenal get knocked out by PSG, who they were knocked out by. Barcelona, treble hopes completely gone. You know, and now they can sit back and they have this banter and they're cooking us and they're shagging us. Our Discord over the past 2 days has been insane.
I know all the Barca fans have slowly disappeared.
I feel like we have way more Madrid dogs than Barca dogs. It is insane.
They got overwhelmed the other day.
So shout out Crash Out King. Who else is with it? Crash Out King.
Crash Out King. Spice. Ninetales stays talking shit.
So shout out all you guys for all that shit talking. Yeah, it's enjoyable. It can get me pissed, so I'm not gonna lie. But successful hate watch. If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, make sure you guys go join that Discord. Link is in bio. But let's get into these semis, man. Let's start off with the Barcelona Inter.
Off the rib. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, literally, that's all you could say.
7-6.
7-6. Boys, there was 13 goals in the semifinal tie. Barcelona scored 6 times and they were still knocked out. We'll get into why I blame Flick. But we'll get into that. Real quick, 13 goals. 3-3 the first leg. 3-3 the second leg up until extra time comes a 4th goal. But this is easily the best semifinal tie I have seen in the longest. It was pure cinema, pure entertainment, whatever you can call it. It was just drama, action.
It had all of the above.
All of the above.
Acerbi scoring his first European goal to send Inter Milan through at what, 36?
37.
At 37, man.
Yeah, Francesco Acerbi, 37-year-old, scoring his first ever goal in that way, in that drama, just straight up drama. So
I love how that scenario points out too, because when you're down a goal at the dying minutes, what else are you gonna do but just fucking run up the pitch? You're gonna try to get up the pitch. You're gonna try to beat a man and get something. Yeah,
it's crazy. And the way that all happened is insane. We'll get into that and controversy, referees, and everything else. So let's get into the major talking points. First and foremost, the referee. Okay.
Do you blame the ref? Do you be non-biased? Put your Madrid or Inter, put your Barca or Inter.
I have a little bit of love for Inter. If you guys didn't know, I have a bit of love for Inter.
Put it as a neutral perspective.
Yeah, neutral perspective. First and foremost,
I think the ref was okay.
The ref was okay, but I feel like if it should have been more like, okay, let's just double check. Just like how they double check the penalty. Cubarsi on, like, okay, the way the play was built up.
Okay, so we're going to the Lautaro.
Let's go from the beginning to the end.
Gotcha.
So in the beginning, it was the Cubarsi Lautaro. Without the slow-mo replays, it doesn't look like it's a pen. But once you go and you actually double check it, okay, yeah, it's a pen. I immediately thought, clean, what a tackle, whatever, this is that. Cubarsi, if Araujo did that tackle, he would have been getting cooked. He already did get cooked. But imagine if that was Araujo in that case. Cubarsi, yes, he's still young, but these tackles in these games have been costly. He's very reckless.
And this isn't the first time he's done it.
It's not. So I do want to mention that as well. So because if there's no hate towards Cubarsi, no, I'm saying there should be hate to him, but apply the same shag to the players.
Hay huevos, hay huevos. But the way I look at it is, put it this way: Garnacho gets shagged every time he plays. Yeah. If you're old enough to put on the shirt, you're old enough to get the backlash. You're old enough to be what's the word? old enough to be
cooked.
Yeah,
as a whole.
pretty
Cooked as a whole. So real quick, I'm gonna say the controversy, it was a penalty. After the replays and the different angles, I'll confirm that was a penalty.
Really close.
It was really close.
It was really close. But yeah, close. Once VAR got into play, they slowed it down just a little bit. You can tell right away that there was no contact with the ball.
Yeah, Di Marco started making fouls early on. 2-3 fouls. He racked up 0 yellow cards. He stopped 2 counters attacks, 0 yellow cards. He got subbed off for that same reason because they know that the next foul was going to get carded. Mkhitaryan had a yellow card. Come the penalty on Yamal. Yes, it was outside. The initial contact is outside.
It's like that way.
And then he makes a second contact inside, and then that's when he falls. I still don't think that was a penalty because the initial reaction to Yamal like falling down and tripping was outside.
It's the first contact. It's the first contact that is attempted to tackle.
Something that was very disregarded and a lot of people had talking about as Mkhitaryan did the foul and he was on a yellow already. I think that is a yellow card type of foul.
I think if it was in the box, it would have been a red.
He was on the attack. He's on the go. Yamal is through.
I get you, but it's way more of a decisive foul or like decisive stop from a goal when it's in the box. You get me?
I guess so. He was millimeters away.
I do get it because you're right. It was a yellow card and it was a reckless foul.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the fact that whether it was going to be a goal stopping opportunity or not, and that I think that would have been indicated way more. It probably was.
It was.
It probably was.
I'm not complaining, lads. I just want to have it stated out there that should have been a double yellow. That should have been a double yellow, lads. All right, next. The Gerard Martin on the 4th goal that Acerbi scored, and Inter scored. Was that a foul on Dumfries where he poked Martin's foot? There is contact, and he falls. Complete, and the intention of Martin was to trap the ball. Foot hits his leg, he falls, and then Dumfries takes it up and sends a whip. That should have been reviewed.
I feel like it could have.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like it could.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The consistency with VAR boys.
But there was really no foul también. I feel like there was way more of a trip.
Hey.
I feel like it was way more of Gerard Martin tripping himself more than
it was contact.
More than Dumfries getting in the way.
It was contact like that. But what I'm saying is, okay, for the Atleti Real Madrid game, the penalty shootout, there was 150,000 X times zoom on his foot and on the ball, but they can't even double check or review this scenario in this case. It's kind of a joke. VAR, lads. VAR. Anyways, props to Inter. We'll get into more of Inter and Inzaghi and just the way that they've been doing things over the past years. The referee. I
think it was okay. I don't think
it was all right. I don't
think the ref affected this game as much as people are trying to put it out there.
Yeah, that's true. I do want to state it. Now, real quick, the last time Barcelona won the Champions League, I was 12 years old, lads. I was 12. We're talking 10 years. Keek says I'm going to keep waiting. And I don't think I'm going to wait too long because Barcelona has showed me that this year, they were not joking around. That this year they turned it around. The Hansi Flick in 1 year was able to get to a Champions League semifinal, potentially win the La Liga, win the Copa del Rey, and dominate the world in terms of play style and just eye candy. Hansi Flick, what he has done this year has been something that you cannot neglect and ignore because it's just joy watching Barcelona play.
You guys will definitely have a much bigger budget too if you guys can solidify the double at least. If you I guess we'll see what happens there, but. If you guys can solidify the double, like I said, that's a good increase in the budget. It'll instantly gain attraction because, it's obviously Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs on the planet. And right now, they're obviously only going upwards. There's only one place to go right now for Barcelona, and that's up. Whether this was I'd consider this a fracaso, if I'm being honest.
Yes, because we had the lead after coming back.
Barca were hot favorites, but look at your road to the semis, way.
Were we hot favorites? Because there was conversations of, okay, there were no, wait.
Before there was the Inter game, before the matchup.
Okay, sure.
Before the matchup, Barca were already considered hot favorites.
Yeah.
But you guys had played no one competitively.
Insanely competitive to a standard where the other teams on the other side. To a standard
where that team could possibly go and win the trophy.
But the things that when we did play these teams early in the group stage, we did our thing.
It's group stage way.
Yeah, it is group stage. Yeah, it is group stage.
That's where it comes into play where you gotta. We say this every time, that the knockoff game is a whole different level, bro.
And again,
it is do or die, and Barca didn't do what they needed to do.
It comes to show how difficult getting to a Champions League final is, and Real Madrid is doing it regularly, consistently,
where we could finally fucking shag them for not making it.
Yeah, I know.
I think this one hit a little harder because it was against Arsenal.
I know, but the thing is, even cuando las cosas le van mal a Madrid, like they still get bailed out because their opponents, their major rivals or their opponents are not conquering shit. And that's always the case. Clearly, the past 10 years, Barcelona hasn't won it. Whoever they've been knocked out really hasn't won it either. But again, yeah, it is a little bit of fracaso because of what occurred in both games, not because of what they were building. Because I didn't expect Hansi Flick to do what he has done this year. I really did not expect this to be
first season.
First season. I did not. Again, Barcelona go down 2-0 in both legs first.
Both legs.
Right, huh? 4 goals. That's 4 goals, okay? They come back in both games. At least to get level, or in this case, they scored 1 more than Inter. There's 3 minutes on the clock. Barcelona was 3 minutes away from reaching a Champions League final. And this is where I blame Hansi Flick. Why can't you, like other teams, ignore your system for the last 10, 5, 8 minutes of play and park the bus? Inter's goal, if you really see where the play started, there was about the 4 defenders and De Jong.
Wait, Serbi scored with 1 center back marking him in the box. 1 center back marking him in the box. 1 center back marking him in the box.
No other manager does that in this case, in this scenario. That is where I blame Hansi Flick.
Okay. That's valid.
That is where I blame him. Because you're minutes away. You're minutes away from a Champions League final. And to manage it like that in the dying moments, instances of the game, I don't know. That's right.
A motherfucker named Araujo comes off the bench and he shits the bed. Been there, done that way. I said Araujo might be clear of Ronald Araujo.
Nestor Araujo over Ronald Araujo, boys. And the crazy thing is, I can't even say anything about it. I might agree with you.
We got to talk about what happened to Ronald Araujo, bro.
Yeah, we'll get into him. I do want to talk about Inter, though. I really do want to talk about Inter because this has been Barca so far, but we got to give credit to Inter.
We got to they have to give props 2 out of 3 years in a row. 2 out of 3 years, and they've made a Champions League finals twice.
Inter in their past 3 years has reached the final twice with the squad they have, and every year they're rotating different players. Yeah, Lukaku. Okay, you're bringing Thuram. The midfield. I saw a report that their midfield was purchased for a total of 30 million. You see a 34-year-old Mkhitaryan running 32, 36 kilometers a match. I think he's over 34. It might be 36 or whatever he is.
Probably like 35.
Dude, it's crazy. Çalhanoğlu, his age, dictating still. Penalty never misses, automatic. As soon as it was a penalty, he's scoring.
I think you should have given it to Lautaro.
Lautaro, there you go. That's another player. Scoring off his injury.
How much was Lautaro?
Chips, like 20 million. Yeah, probably, we bought him straight from Argentina.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Lautaro scoring a goal, conceding a penalty. Dumfries, he had 5 goal contributions in 2 matches against Barcelona.
Oh my God.
5 goal contributions.
Club and country. This guy is a consistent. He's a demon. He has that fucking clutch factor way. Denzel Dumfries is a huge big game player, bro.
And I like that he's finally getting his respect because he wasn't before because he wasn't really foreseen as much.
I think since the World Cup way.
For the World Cup, he did take a big leap.
Since the World Cup, he should have been already foreseen as a top player.
He took a big leap. And Inzaghi in the system, we say it every year, and this team isn't a team that you really take for granted. You really can't underrate this team. Because they're in another Champions League final.
It's a team you don't take seriously because they're so under the radar with the style of play, with the no star line players, no storylines of these elite players. Obviously, they have a good team and they have obviously some world class players, but they're not players that go on the radar as much as others. If you give me one Inter player that is Ballon d'Or bound.
Lautaro and Barella.
Do they have a solid chance to win?
Yes, because they can win. They can win the Champions League, and I believe that.
But that'd be a double way max.
Yeah, I know. That would be, and the Serie A isn't even guaranteed yet.
Exactly,
because it's still up in the air. But the better question is, if you really pick and point and pick and choose Inter's lineup, and you say, okay, how many of these players, these starting 11, could really star at other top clubs in the world?
Okay, there you go.
It's not many. It's not many because you're putting in play position by position on other teams' rosters and squads. There's not many. Barella, yes. Lautaro, yes. Dumfries, yes.
Sommer, yes.
Bastoni, yes. Okay, let's say 4. Let's say a little bit less than half or just half.
Maybe half max.
Maybe half max, which is still unreal because you still have a 37-year-old in the back. You still have a 34-year-old at goalkeeper. You have a 33-year-old left wing back. You have a 30-year-old midfielder, 30, like 32, Çalhanoğlu. The names. Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, Dumfries, De Vrij. Dude, De Vrij still.
Yeah. And now you're going up against a team that more respectfully has top 3 players in each position.
Top 3. So, yes, on paper, Inter doesn't have the craziest team, but it's the system and it's one man and it's Simone Inzaghi. What he's been able to do with Inter is Inter has been undefeated in the Champions League for 972 days. That's 3 years at home.
Oh, at home.
At home.
Okay.
They don't lose.
I was about to say, I swear they've lost at some point.
At home. They don't lose. They don't lose at home. And I was coming into this game, and I see that record, I'm like, oh, how the hell is Barca going to win today? And then they score, and I'm like...
You had Barca going through, no?
I had Barca going through, but the first leg was supposed to be won. I said that.
Okay.
I said that. If Barcelona wants to have their ticket to Munich, it is by winning the first leg, and they did not. They did not.
Okay, that's valid.
But that's Inter for you. And then another damn Champions League final. Then another Champions League final.
And they're going to shit the bed.
And
again.
I don't know. We'll get into that preview. We're not going to give you too much of the preview, but that's for another episode. But again,
I want to preview is so fucking
We'll preview. You'll give your early prediction and I'll give mine. But I think you guys know where we're going with that.
We'll have to break it down to a full vid though.
We'll have to break it down to a full vid. Real quick, before we get into player performances, going back to Hansi Flick. Oh no, how do I go with this? The reason Barcelona lost was because they conceded 7 goals.
High risk, high reward is what they say when
high risk, high reward. Okay. Yes, there was referee controversy, drama, whatever, but you still should not be conceding 7 goals.
Controversy?
Is that a word, lads? I just made that up. Controversy. It's the bean. It's the bean coming out. Controversy. Controversy.
Sick ass real estate agent.
Controversy. Hey, but just expose what do I do for work? Controversy, lads. All that, but you still should not be conceding 7 goals. Get the backline sorted. Yes, okay, Balde wasn't in there. Koundé wasn't there. But those replacements, Gerard Martin and Eddie Garcia,
they both did their
had
shit.
2 assists and they scored. Okay,
yeah.
So you win here, you lose here, and then you win here, then you lose here.
Okay? There isn't. I don't think there's a single. At least in terms of replacements for injuries, no one could be at fault there.
Yeah.
You can't blame Gerard Martin for getting fucking cooked.
Yeah.
Because at the other side of the pitch, he produced. He made up for it. Eddie Garcia, the exact same thing. I couldn't even blame him for. Well, we'll get into it for the individual performances, but I couldn't even blame him for that miss.
And that's what I'm getting to next. Let's start off with Jan Sommer.
Holy shit.
This guy. I don't know. These goalkeepers in this Champions League run have been something else. It's
been a year for goalkeepers.
Jan Sommer had 7 elite level saves. 7. I'm talking 7 where like not all goalkeepers get a hand on them. Not all of them.
No.
MVP, he ended up getting the Man of the Match award.
Of course.
Build this guy a statue if he did win the Champions League. Build the guy a statue. And it's something with Inter in Champions League. When Inter was in the last Champions League final, they had Onana. Onana was having an insane run.
I was about to say, it was the exact same scenario.
When they won the Champions League, they had Julio Cesar in there. They just always have good keepers performing well. Always. And defense, whatever. But man, Jan Sommer, those saves on Yamal and everything is everyone. Eddie Garcia, dude, that was one of the best.
The Eddie Garcia one was the craziest one, and I'll get more into why I don't blame Eddie Garcia to an extent. First of all, you're a right back. Mm-hmm. You're not expected to slot that shit top right, bottom right, whatever. You're not expected to be composed and place that. The ball is coming towards you, and the only way you can get it on target is with your left foot. He had no other option, and he did well. And Jan Sommer was full stretch way. Full stretch.
Both
and
hands.
Fucking practically caught the ball, cabron. Are you kidding me, bro?
He had both hands on it.
And
full extension.
And your abilities aren't as good when you're full stretch way.
Yeah. At an age.
He still cupped the ball and handled it with ease, way. Wow.
Yeah, wow. It is.
Shit.
That's what it is, dude. And that's why he was man of the match. He had several insane saves. He owned Yamal in terms of shooting. He had like 4 nasty saves on him.
There was the multiple chances that Lamine had were I'd consider them snapshots.
Yeah.
There weren't too many ones where he beat his man and then he got the shot on target. No, they were more just cut into a little bit of open space and take a quick shot.
Quick shot.
Take a quick shot. And most of them were really good strikes.
Quick shot. That's what it was. Again, we mentioned Dumfries. This guy had 2 assists this match. Last week, he had a goal and 2 assists. This week, again, another 2 assists on smoke. That whole right flank, both matches. Man of the match for the first one. Easily could have been man of the match for this one.
If it wasn't for Sommer.
Jeez. Build a guy's statue if Inter wins the Champions League. I said it. Build it. Right outside the San Siro. Lautaro, again, he was missed for the second half last week.
He was almost ruled out for this week. He was almost ruled out for this week too.
Almost ruled out. And you could just see this guy is always performing, always in the big stages, especially in the Champions League. He has a good track record of scoring on every opponent that he faces in the Champions League. These guys inevitable in the Champions League scoring. Now let's get into a player who I could go on and write a whole book about this guy and this guy's performances.
He lost, and we're still going to give another 15-minute Lamine Yamal glaze.
Boys, it's kind of automatic this week, every week, next year, the next 18 years, Yamal Glaze will be a part of this channel. If you guys are enjoying the Yamal Glaze, make sure you guys subscribe. Real quick, Lamine Yamal, in my opinion, this is the greatest non-goal or assist performance that I have seen. Actually, 9.6 rating, 9.2 rating, 8.8 rating, all over every different platform.
Wow.
Highly rated without scoring, assisting, or winning. The best player on the pitch, if it wasn't for Sommer, absolutely tearing it up in the net.
Wait, he was booed walking into the San Siro. Could you imagine how he would have left? Probably holding his sack way if they would have went through. Probably would have whipped his sack out, if anything, I'm being honest, bro. He would have talked so much shit. And you still were not proven wrong. This kid tells it like it is. He feeds off of the hate. He feeds off of the people doubting him and putting him down. He feeds off the people telling him that he is not good enough and shouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah.
And regardless, still pulls out these type of performances.
It was another level of enjoyment the second half watching.
The best Barcelona I've seen in roughly 5 years, 4 years. 4 years, maybe.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. And the 17-year-old is
pulling the strings.
He
was the one. He had today the match most successful take-ons, most chances created, the most shots taken, most passes successful dribbles. This match, actually was pass the ball to Lamine Yamal, and let's see what this guy can create for us.
Sommer stopped Lamine Yamal from, I'd probably say, the greatest cameo a teenager's ever had in the Champions League.
If he bags 2 goals, 1 goal, or whatever, Barcelona wins.
Goal. And if Barca just would have won.
Barca would have won. He would have been a top 3 contender for the Ballon d'Or.
Any of those shots that he took on Sommer would have gone in way. Any of them, bro. Any of them.
This performance.
It would have been a contender.
This performance. It's if the question is why, let's hypothetically speak before people cook us. Why would Lamine Yamal deserve the Ballon d'Or? Just put the tape on from Inter second leg. First leg, the tie.
This is such an eye candy Ballon d'Or because at this point the goal scorers are starting to get a little closer. Obviously, you put leagues into play, you put trophies into play, you put a lot of stuff into play. But when it really comes to just straight eye candy and how much enjoyment someone can bring while you're watching him play football, I have not experienced this in such a long time, man.
Thing is, with him and the other competitors, let's just name them real quick: Rafinha, Pedri. Salah's back in the race now.
Salah's definitely back.
Salah's back in. And Dembele. Between him and Dembele, they are the best. I don't know how to put it. They're just the best players attacking wise.
They're very different.
But what I saw with Lamine Yamal against Inter was flashes of what Messi was in his last couple of years with Barcelona. Where it was, let me pick up the ball here, give me the ball here, play through this side here. And let's see what this guy can do and create. And every time he got the ball, he was creating chances. He was making stuff happen all the time. And coming into this match, Inzaghi and Bastoni were saying in press conferences, interviews, we're going to put 3-4 players on him. We're going to crowd him. We're going to pretty much lock him up.
Bastoni said he's the best player he's ever faced with.
That's another thing to say.
I feel like it was probably more glaze than we do for that motherfucker.
He took his jersey too. The jersey swap. Bastoni, who has been up against the likes of Gareth Bale, Ronaldo, Mbappe.
Some of the greatest players to ever play the game.
I don't think he's gone up against Messi.
No creo.
But Bale, Mbappe, and Ron.
Elite fucking footballers.
Those are all players who obviously he's defending. You know, and for him to say Lamine Yamal, the best player that he's seen, is something else. Is actually something else. Lamine Yamal was completely just so successful. Every time he got forward, he was making shit happen. Driving in, dribbling, man breaking, everything, line breaking, anything. It was a joy to watch, actually.
The amount of pressures on his shoulders looks like there's nothing their way. It looks like the kid is still playing in his backyard.
And it's sad. It's sad because he shouldn't have this responsibility of you dictating how your team goes forward.
No, and a lot of people are putting that into perspective too, because at 17, well, I mean, technically the kid, he's still a kid. He's still growing. Body's not fully done developing yet. You know, obviously Hansi Flick has that fucking steroid procedure plan that they do for all of his fucking players.
You're going to see him next year like fully jacked.
But I mean, like, that's scary, you know, because it really can just go wrong with just one injury. Pushing him just a little too hard. One extra game that they push him a little too hard to play, and it goes wrong. It's kind of dangerous, but it's also kind of like a sign for Hansi Flick that he knows that regardless of who he plays around, of who he puts around Lamine Yamal, that kid is going to be the project. He's going to be what the team is built around. He's going to be the leader. He's going to be the one he's going to be the number one star.
Yes,
at Barcelona.
The thing is, I was watching these past couple of games. I don't know if it's just because of Balde's injury, but Rafinha does not look the same player that he was entering the season, throughout the middle of the season, and towards the end. And it's like what Viej said. This guy, Rafinha, is just there to put shit away. And that's the case. He had 0 shots up until the 88th minute. He had 0 shots.
He was ghost. He was ghost.
In the first leg, 2. First leg up until later on, then he got involved.
Until the goal.
And that is where I agree with him, because more influential is a Pedri who ran the most. Yamal who created the most. But Rafinha, the thing that I do credit Rafinha is when he's needed and when he swings his foot, he's very clutch and very successful. But if Barcelona was in this final and Barcelona player were to win the Ballon d'Or, it would not be Rafinha for me. And again, he's just not as involved. I don't know, it's just because Balde was injured and that really affected him, because Yera Martin kind of just doesn't drive much as Balde does. But I haven't really liked what I've seen from Rafinha. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not in the comments, or you.
I think it's just like you said, it's just a matter of being able to finish what's on your plate for Rafinha. Well, Lamine Yamal is pretty much doing everything else.
Yeah.
Creating chances, beating men one-on-one, taking shots, taking chances, building up momentum, carrying from deep, picking up the ball. I think that's what I like the most about Lamine Yamal, is the fact that you're 17 and you're so eager to have the ball at your feet. You're practically desperate, howling at your teammates because you want to have the ball. You want to be the one that makes the difference. You want to be the one that creates the opportunity for Barcelona.
And it's sad. It's sad that Yamal,
that it has to be him, yeah.
But this performance deserved of him being in the Champions League final solely because of him. I feel bad for him. Because he did what he could. Another player that kind of ruined everything, Ronald Araujo. Where do I begin? We're talking a lot about Barca because there's a lot to cover. We'll get into the Arsenal PSG in just a moment, so make sure you guys stay to the end of the video. Ronald Araujo should not be a Barcelona player next year. Time and time, year and year, he is the one shitting the bed and sending Barcelona out.
Had an offer from Juve, by the way.
We rejected it, and Barcelona extended him.
Would have made chips. It was like 60, 70 M's,
60 mil. 50. It was 50 minimum. It was
like 60, I think, like 60.
Minimum, it was 50. That was like the lowest amount I was seeing. But it's, again, Barcola last year, unnecessary red card. Let him take the fucking shot, for Christ's sake. And the worst thing is that he didn't even challenge low. It was a damn agarrón.
He just went to take him out.
It was just to take him out.
He went to take him out, yeah.
He just clotheslined him.
It was desperate.
It was desperate. And the game went to shit there. In this case, you get subbed in because you're not good enough to start.
You get subbed in
because you're not good enough to start.
Fully fit, meaning you're fully fit and you have more stamina than the rest of these guys who have just ran their fucking asses off the past. What minute he come in? Like the 70th? Bro, you have 30 minutes to just bust your ass.
And this is where I'm going to get to.
That's all you're asked of. 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah. You're on the bench because you can't start over an 18-year-old Cubarsí. You can't start over a 32-year-old Inigo Martinez. You come off the bench after 70 minutes, and it is the most lazy defending that I have seen in a Barcelona defender since Vermaelen or Mathieu in 2014.
I respect Mathieu.
But Mathieu just had a left dagger on him.
He was kind of sick.
He was sick. But anyways, just lazy defending. And this is where I'm going to explain myself. In the first goal, in the Fratesi goal, right? No, it was Acerbi goal first.
Acerbi one, yes.
Acerbi goal. In the Acerbi goal, you let a 37-year-old, like we mentioned, score his first goal. And the way that he did because of Yamal, because of Araujo, just being lazy defending.
37-year-old.
You let him get in front of you and take a clean shot, clean enough to put it top right, top bins when you're right behind him.
After playing 95 minutes.
After playing 95 minutes.
93 minutes.
In the moment that it was. That is where I want you to be aggressive. That's where I want you to tackle players. That's where I want you to be involved. He wasn't. Okay? Scratch that. Next. In the Fratesi goal, the goal comes from Thuram. It was a lob. Thuram brings it down comfortably, whatever. He does his thing.
Araujo chases him out.
Gets out of position, and it's the most laziest shadowing. That's what it is. He was shadowing Thuram all the way back. Thuram drops his shoulder and takes him off with the easiest.
With two touches.
Drops his shoulder and goes. Mm-hmm. And there he goes on. He gets back into position and then watches Fratesi cut, Hezi, and then shoot.
Pass to Taremi, who one touches it to Fratesi. Fratesi has time to look up, fake shot, and still pick a fucking corner. And that looked like almost 3 seconds away. Araujo and Cubarsí just
and Fermin. I think it was Fermin. Fermin was right in front of him as well. But both of them. The Hezi cooked Fermin nasty though. But Araujo shouldn't have been cooked like that.
How are you getting cooked when someone's in front of you getting cooked? You're literally supposed to be the second man. You're the one that's supposed to make sure if he gets beaten, then you don't get beaten. You're really last man. You were brought in as the last man and nothing else. And
I have had a lot of respect for Araujo, and I have been one of the few guys that have actually defended him over this course of his career. But enough is enough.
We have endless videos where we debate where we put him in a top five fucking center backs, bro.
We as LFS have debated Ronald Araujo with the likes of Militao, Rudiger, Van Dijk, Nestor, Israel Reyes, Chiquete. Yes,
those motherfuckers are clear, low key.
Now this guy should go to the Barcelona de Uruguay, or wherever that Ecuador, right? Or I think it's Ecuador. I think it's Ecuador. Yeah,
wherever the fuck it is,
it's Ecuador, Uruguay. But that is our Barcelona rant and recap of this beautiful, sensational Inter and Barcelona tie. Keeks, any last thoughts, comments before we get on to the Arsenal PSG?
I mentioned it the last time. It seemed like the dark arts prevailed once again. I for one just don't rate the style of football that Inzaghi produces. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just a preference. But what I did enjoy is that Inzaghi got the best out of his opposition. Yeah. That he played to their weaknesses, and not a lot of managers take advantage of their opponent's weaknesses like Inzaghi does. Correct. Inzaghi will break down on your weaknesses and take advantage of your weaknesses for the entire 90 minutes. And that's all they did. They triple teamed Yamal and they countered every time Cubarsí was trying to play offsides. They fucking ate every single offside shot that Cubarsí threw.
And
the first
Flick
goal
never changed the system.
The first goal, Dumfries clear on goal. He could have fucking placed it himself if he wanted to get a goal instead of an assist. But he knew the momentum. He knew that also comes into play away. When you play a pass to your star striker that is already loved and fucking throned by the entire fucking city, of course it's going to electrify the stadium. Of course it's going to hype everyone up because everyone wants to see Lautaro score.
And then minutes later, you get a Chalanoglu on a penalty.
Oh my god.
Never missing.
Fratesi off the bench.
He's automatic as well. Every time he comes off.
Jan Sommer. If it wasn't for Sommer, I don't know how this game would have possibly gone.
Yeah. It's the dark arts that get them to another final, but he doesn't like Inter's play style. I really appreciate it, and you could actually really
I can respect
acknowledge
it.
and respect
it. Yeah,
the system because it's very functional and efficient.
Yeah,
we see how Inter plays out the back. We see how Inter beats the press. We see how Inter presses as a whole together and the counterattack. But there were a couple things that we learned. The best team doesn't always win, right? Lamine Yamal's future just getting started. This guy's future is up here.
There's a Ballon d'Or. There's a Ballon d'Or in his future before he turns 20 years old. If I'm being honest, I can see him in the top 3. I can see him on the podium. What
I also learned is that Barcelona will be in this position, hopefully for the next decade. Constantly. Semifinal, final. That's something I learned because...
But wait, you guys have already been consistently making these semis.
Last year we made it. Last year we did make it. No, quarters. It was quarters. It was quarters.
I mean, you guys make it towards the end and then it's shit the bed.
I mean, we're also in Europa League not too long ago.
I know, and
that's the thing.
We were in Champions League not too long ago, and now
that's United.
Now we're about to go undefeated in Europe, unlike some motherfuckers.
That's United for you lads. All right, Arsenal PSG. Christ, Keeks. Take it away.
Not too much to go over this one because how did it go? Exactly as I fucking predicted it. Exactly
2-1,
as I saw it going. Yeah,
we both had 2-1.
We both had 2-1.
Fair.
Proper. Why did they get this? Why do they get you guys so hyped? Why do you guys get hope watching Arsenal play? Why do you guys start the season on fire and fucking go all the way and start glazing all these players? Oh my fucking god, Monterrey fucking won.
3-2.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Anyways, Arteta and Arsenal just don't provide anything when they play the elites.
They don't.
You guys, honestly, you guys sometimes shit the bed playing the mediocre teams too, man. It's something about you guys is your inconsistency with performing when it really, really matters.
Thing is, it's like I said, if Arsenal doesn't win the first leg, or if they lose the first leg, it's wraps.
But I mean, they were never. I don't think they were going to win either of these legs, regardless.
Yeah, and you did say you had PSG
team. This is the most dominant team that's been in the Champions League. They've ran through 4 different Premier League teams, and I saw this game just the same way I saw the Villa game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a mismatch of a squad being much better than the other one.
Right. You had PSG both legs, so I'm gonna give you that.
Well, I had PSG going all the way, bro.
All the way, and you have PSG winning it too. No?
I fucking do, but my shit's cooked now.
Yeah, but at least you had PSG. Not a lot of people had PSG all the way.
Wait, I got shagged.
Winning, you got cooked.
I got 700 likes on Keeks Doesn't Know Ball.
He doesn't know ball. Again, Arsenal looked like they wanted the goal, and they came off 20 minutes firing.
They did.
They had chance after chance after chance, and eventually, them not putting those chances away bit them in the ass later on in the match, just like how it always. And I always see it. Every time Arsenal lose, they pull the XGs compared to the other team that beat them outright. And it's always a great different number.
You guys had a way higher XG in the first half.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter because, again, let's say Arsenal was the best team today. You lost. You didn't put the ball in the net more than twice. And that's why you lost. Props to Donnarumma. We're going to mention another goalkeeper having another outstanding performance. This guy,
absolute comeback story from the lad. This guy was written off at the start of the season.
Champions League.
We keep bringing it up. He was supposedly the biggest liability PSG had in their 11.
Turned around completely.
And now he's been a top 5 player for them, right behind the offense and the midfield.
Yeah. So Arsenal blew their chances, and that's why they didn't win. It's simple, lads. It's simple. It's simple, and again. But yes, Arsenal did overachieve. Congrats, you beat Real Madrid.
They should have. Yeah,
not a lot of teams.
I think overachieve is an understatement.
Overachieved,
which is why I'm not too like this was expected.
Mm-hmm.
They got farther than what was expected of them. Kudos to them. They did the fucking unimaginable by thrashing Madrid both legs, which is something that's really unheard of, especially in the Champions League. But
Saka could have had 3 goals today.
Yeah,
3 goals. The goal he scored. The one he missed, the sitter.
Oh, and the sitter.
I feel like he really didn't expect it. It was like a snapshot, like you say.
But wait, those are the ones
you're
that,
right there.
Those are the ones that get remembered.
Yes.
Not the goal.
Not the goal.
Not the fact that you were Arsenal's best player on the pitch. Not the fact that you gave everything more than 3 times more than the rest of the players on your team. It's the ones that where you miss. It's the ones that where you don't capitalize. It's the ones that make you look like a joke.
And the misses are the ones that really stand out the most. The first like Martinelli. This like Martinelli in the first 10 minutes. Rice in the second. In the first 10 minutes again as well. Saka's shot, that shot. I mean, the save was insane. The save was insane.
Donnarumma is actually Saka's worst nightmare. Way. Seems like every time he has like some fucking milestone to hit in his footy career, Donnarumma's standing in front of him, stopping him.
And PSG really made Arsenal struggle though. Like creating chances for Arsenal was not easy.
Not at all.
Not at all for both legs. So I'm going to give props to that. When you're good defensively, and you have the amount of options that you do up top, you're going to be in a damn Champions League final. With a good, legit coach, you're going to be a damn Champions League final. PSG can score from anywhere, from anyone, and it just keeps the show again. Today, who scored?
Hakimi has like 4 goal contributions late
in the last couple Champions League matches.
Playoffs, yeah.
Before that, it was Nuno Mendes. Before that, it was Cavara. Before that, it was Dembele. Before that, it was Barcola. Fabian Ruiz scoring a worldie today. We were mentioning in the past episodes that against Liverpool, it was João Neves. Against Villa, it was Vitinha. Against Arsenal, the first leg, it was João Neves. And today, Fabian Ruiz. The midfield trio just keeps on performing and doing justice and, making a name for themselves because these guys are a top 3 midfielder.
This is a top 5 midfield. These are top 5 midfielders on the planet right now, and 3 of them play for fucking PSG.
That is not crazy to say.
I think the only other ones I'd put up there are Pedri. And who else?
Not Bruno. I don't see Bruno as a 10. I don't see Bruno as a 10 anymore.
That's so daft, fam. I'm not hearing that shit.
He plays high as hell.
37 GA, green.
But Bruno's in 15th place, 17th place.
And Bruno's about to win a European trophy, unlike Barca.
And Arsenal.
Yeah, again.
But Fabian Ruiz can say, whatever. But Fabian Ruiz is a Euro champion, and he was a big focal point in that. So you could disagree with us, but the accolades are there. PSG, Keeks, tell me what we know about PSG in the Farmers League.
What's the Farmers League? The Premier League?
I guess so. I thought the Farmers League was Ligue 1, Bundesliga, but it looks like for PSG that the Farmers League is a Premier League. Keeks, who has PSG beaten this year to get to this Champions League final?
They beat Man City in the group stage. They handled Man City in the group stage. Took down Liverpool. Should have thrashed them both legs. The Alisson masterclass. Beat Aston Villa. Villa kind of, I think, what's even crazy to say? Villa might have been their most competitive game.
Yeah.
And they played 3 top 6 Premier League sides.
I agree with you.
They played the former and new Premier League winners. And the regular second place fucking bottlers. But Aston Villa was the one that gave them the most trouble. Aston Villa was the one that could have knocked out PSG.
And they were the closest because that last second shot from
they could have knocked out PSG. They really could have knocked out PSG, and that would have turned some tables. But 4 English teams thrashed by PSG.
Farmers League where, lads? The Premier League got cooked this year.
PSG handled the Ligue 1 with the fucking quickness. Actually, and said, all right, let's just focus on the Champions League.
The Premier League got cooked, and then you have the Europa League where it's going to be Premier League clubs who are in 15th to 17th place. Spurs and Manchester United. It's crazy how footy works.
I love football, man.
It's crazy how this sport is, lads. And that's the beautiful part of it.
15th place, Man United are on verge for a European trophy, while Arsenal still have not won anything have not won anything big domestically or internationally in their past 5 years.
A 15th and a 17th place, United and Spurs finishing there in the Premier League. And going on in a Champions League, in a Europa League final could have a better season.
We're already there, way. I heard Nico and Iñaki aren't supposed to play tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Fucking rats, dog. We're going back to Old Trafford. We're fine.
Yeah, and Spurs are good.
Spurs, también should be straight. We're really going to have English teams.
If you guys lose Spurs.
If we give Spurs, oh man, all right. Let's actually deep this. We actually deep this because
if Spurs beats Manchester United, you dye your hair blonde or white.
It's much looking like it's more likely going to be a Man United Spurs Europa League.
It is.
And a lot of you guys question why we don't talk about Europa League too much. Mainly because I don't know. We kind of just don't bring it up too often. Mainly because the Champions League has just been too good. So it's fucking
good. And if we bring up
so impactful,
if we bring up Europa League, lads, it's going to be an hour, 2-hour episodes, and just us too. Man, we could go on forever. Real quick before we kind of recap this, what's next for Arsenal is a question. What is next for Arsenal? I think
phase 50 Arteta.
Phase 50 Arteta, but I want to see a phase 50 Arteta with actual
impact.
No, ballers, depth.
Okay.
Numbers, a healthy squad. I don't know how in the world Califiori made it to this game after what his injury was. Like, this guy snapped his knee.
That's how bad your depth is, that you guys are looking for Califiori and Ben White to come off the bench and make a difference.
Yeah. So if Arsenal is serious in the summer, they are going to be active and need to be active.
Give me 3 players from each position, each department of the pitch.
Forwards as a whole.
Yeah.
Left wing striker.
Midfielders and a defender.
Nico Williams, Gyökeres, Isak.
Oh, 3. Oh, you're doing 3 each? Oh, okay.
Midfield. Subimendi has been heavily linked. I don't mind that. Subimendi, bring us another creative midfielder is needed for Odegaard. Odegaard stinks.
Someone needs to challenge Odegaard for his position,
for his spot.
And I think it starts with getting the armband revoked.
Yeah,
I think at this point, just give Saka the armband, man. What's really stopping him? The guy's already pretty much a leader. Saliba's gone, mate.
I doubt
it. He's going.
I actually don't think so.
His mind's in Madrid, lad. It's over.
This summer better convince him to stay. But just I think the most area where we need help and depth is up top. Offense. So I'll just mention those for now.
Isak, no fucking way.
Hey.
He gets paid a bag away.
I'm never gonna win shit in Newcastle.
But I mean, it's because at that point when you're making such a bag and you're already known as a baller,
not gonna win shit in Newcastle. If he wants to win,
just won Carabao. Just won their first trophy in how long way?
Yeah, I can't say that actually. They did.
Motherfuckers have like passed away watching Newcastle and not even seen them lift a trophy away. So I mean, he's already solidified a GOAT there.
Yeah,
they love him. He's already a baller. He bags consistently. If Newcastle really want to compete and they know they have the funds for it, they just need to build around it.
Yeah, that's true. But that's it, lads. Real quick preview for the Champions League final in Munich. I have Inter winning, and I have Inter just doing it, lads. I have Inter.
You guys already know how I'm feeling, man.
Yeah, he's PSG.
I'm feeling French. Allez Paris.
Allez Paris.
Allez Paris.
Allez Le Blanc, Le Bleu, whatever they are. I actually do want to mention before we log off. Inzaghi, there's a rumor that he purposely sacrificed the Coppa Italia and the Serie A in terms of squad rotation to have fully fit players ready.
Did you see that in both of their sides
on the lineups?
when they lost to Milan and when they dropped points last weekend?
I didn't see the same mentality and ganas de jugar against like what I saw against Barca.
So you think Inzaghi told them to like don't push, don't strain,
don't strain,
don't injure yourself because we have a much more important game to get to.
I think that might have been something.
Okay.
That's some shit he would do. These Italians, dude. These Italians.
Shit. Man, fuck Serie A.
That's shit they've won already, dude. They're trying to go for Champions League. So, boys.
Not fair. That's not a crazy rumor.
Not a crazy rumor, but I wouldn't be surprised if they later win the Champions League and they come out saying that this was true.
Nah, man.
Well, lads, that was it for this episode. That was our UCL recap as a whole, really. I mean, there's only one game left, and it is the Champions League final in Munich. We will be previewing that. We will be also doing a live reaction for that match. We will do everything to be there. We will be there like that famous Mbappe quotes. If you guys enjoy this video, please make sure you guys drop a like, comment, and sub. Keeks, take it away.
This UCL season has been nothing short of spectacular. This has just been absolutely amazing from beginning to end.
We can't say our goodbyes yet.
No, it's not over yet.
We cannot say our goodbyes.
We got the final showdown going up.
Lads. So,
and hopefully it ends off with a fucking bang, hopefully man. It has to. Snooze. Please don't give me an Inter snooze fest again, man. Please don't let these motherfuckers play dead, bro.
Inter scoring.
If I get another Man City,
chill. Hold. Before we start waffling on that preview. But lads, that is it. Please sub. Get us to 6K. Show us some love there, please, boys. If that's one way to show us love. Join the Discord and sub, lads. Make sure you guys drop a like and comment. Lads out.
Catch you on the next one.